Welcome, guys, to Dogs of War YouTube channel / podcast. Today we have a pack review for Howl the Blackmane for Conquest 40,000 LCG. Today we have
Tree
and Angelo
and me.
Jesus.
Let's get right into the pack.
All right, so the first card in our pack is a new warlord. It's a Space Marine warlord. His name is Ragnar Blackmane. He gets the standard 7 cards and 7 resources to start the game. He has 2 attack and 7 health on his front side, 2 attack and 5 health on the back side, and says the following. Reaction. After your warlord commits to a planet with an enemy warlord, deal 2 damage to target enemy unit at the planet. So he's going to be looking to... he's pretty cool, I think. He gets to go basically chasing after the opposing warlord and killing either them or stuff around them. It's going to put you in an interesting position of maybe playing chicken a little bit with your opponent to see if, if they know what planet you're going to, are they willing to take 2 damage to go to that planet? And you also can start chasing them down thinking, okay, where's the optimal place they want to go? Where do they want to deliver their HQ units to? Where do they want to try to take this turn? And if so, you can try to kill a key piece or put more damage on them trying to, hunt them down.
Yeah. I know. I like him a lot. Especially is very deadly if you bloody the opposing warlord, because from there on, his ability, most warlords have 5 health in their bloody side. Yeah. So
he is a constant threat.
Could easily in one, his ability and your first attack, if you have initiative, kill his warlord before he retreats.
Especially if you have a ranged guy. If you have a ranged guy, that warlord is toast.
So, and when you're playing with him, you want to bloody the opponent's warlord, because once that happens, it's just a matter of a wrong planet he shows up.
And it's cool because he's very different from Kato, the currently available Space Marine warlord, who kind of wants to go to where your opponent has units to kill them to gain resources. He just wants to go right after the warlord, otherwise he doesn't have an ability.
Yeah, he gets a lot better later game, too, because when the number of planets start getting dwindling to where you need to win, it's very easy to guess where your opponent's going to have to go to either stop you from winning or guarantee or try to get their win. And now it's like, well, you can go there, but you're going to take some damage doing it. Yeah. And early game, he's cool, too, because, you can go hunt down their, command icon guys on the board, right? So, your opponent drops a command icon dude, and normally you'd have to send your warlord there, wait for combat to happen, and then kill him that way. Well, you can commit him, use his ability, and then there's some other tricks in the game that, may or may not matter.
They've also committed their warlord there.
No, he'll initiate combat.
No.
He's a warlord.
He
initiates
you'll be able to attack with him. But
yeah.
His ability won't work.
True. But he can be used to snipe off dudes that just don't matter too. So, there are some times where you have initiative and you're just not going to win combat at a planet, but maybe they have like a 3-2 range guy sitting there that you don't want to have to worry about later. So you commit him there. Presumably he's committing his warlord there too because, he wants to take that planet for whatever reason. You snipe the range guy and then you run away. And there could be some value in that too, right? So, using him to smack the warlord in the face is probably going to be the best play with him a lot of times, but picking off key pieces of units that are going to be in play,
especially
for
range.
future, especially range models, or even AoE,
awesome.
Stacking damage on AoE. You trigger the planet that does the 1 point of damage to everything on another planet or an HQ, and then you go have this guy apply another 2 damage on top of that. You can start whacking other units off the board pretty damn quick too. So I think he's got a lot of versatility. I like that it introduces a new way to play the game, which I think is cool, because, bloodying the warlord and killing him has always been a win condition, but it's a very hard one to trigger a lot of times. Now with him, it's cool that you can custom build to do that kind of stuff, and I think it's pretty cool. It'll take a very skilled player, I think, to be able to read the board effectively and outthink the opponent to where they're going to go. But if nothing else, you can just straight up bully Planet 1 every turn with him, whether you're triggering his ability or not. I'm going to go to Planet 1 every turn. You make the choice if you're going to try and come stop me, because if you do, you're going to take a bunch of damage.
Smack for 2 and then run away if you don't actually need the planet.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's good. Different play style, which is good for the game. I have 2-cost army Blackmane Sentinel. 1 command icon. He's a soldier space wolf. 2 attack, 2 defense, and has reaction after you commit. Your warlord commits to a planet, move this unit to that planet. It's good. You just have to be careful that if you trigger this ability, it's going to happen before you count the command icons and the command struggle. So if he's on an outer planet and you're expecting to get those cards or resources, if he triggers ability, he's gonna move from there prior to you winning those resources. But it puts in the whole alpha strike mentality of this warlord. You know, if I'm gonna go here and you bring a big army, I'm gonna bring all these guys with me. And we all have known that movement between planets, once you deploy, it's a strong effect in the game. And you could easily put them early on in the game in the outer rim of planets, commit your warlord to, you know, have them collect all the resources. Mid-game, commit them to a second planet, have them all move, so be ready there for battle. There's a lot of choices and use for him. So,
yeah, they're good. You know, I think their ability is right up there with Sicarius' Chosen, which is from the other Warlord pack. They both do two very different things, but Sicarius' Chosen kind of seem like they're always a one-hit wonder kind of thing. You play them, trigger their ability, and then they're done. I like these guys because they will sit on the board, they'll collect resources, and then when you do have the time that you need them, you commit your warlord and bring them over. Or even more importantly, if your opponent is going to go and try and snipe your command icons off the board by sending his warlord to a planet these guys are at, well, you just committed yours and you know where he's at, you can just move him out of the danger, which keeps them on the board, which I think is really cool for them. So
to me, they kind of feel more like Chimeras with the Chimera Den in a Dark Eldar deck, where you get a little bit of, you don't get like the full mobility of the Chimera Den, but you get more options with them.
So,
and they have command icons, so I mean,
and they're cheap too. I mean, they're $2 for a 2/2 with a decent ability. I like that. So. All right, next up we have Frostfang. This is the unique attachment that comes with Blackmane's signature squad. It is 2 costs with 3 shield icons. It's a relic, a war gear, and a weapon. Limit 1 relic per player. You can attach it to a Space Wolves unit, and the attached unit gets +2 attack and +2 HP while it is at a planet with an enemy warlord. So again, just a really good card. Kind of bats home this theme of the deck, which is if you want to commit your warlord, well, you're going to be taking a lot of damage when you do it. You have to respect this, right? I mean, if I'm bullying planet 1 each turn by sending my warlord there, and then you show up and take the 2 damage to the face, but I have initiative on that turn as well, and this is attached to even Ragnar himself. I mean, that's an instant kill. Like, I have instantly bloodied your warlord and or killed you. And that's pretty cool. And of course, these things are also good too because they're just simply 3 shield icons, which there's not many cards in the game that are 3 shields. And to be able to have that 3 shields on a card, if you have to pitch it, is not bad.
Signature squad.
So,
and I think that's another card that's going to get better as we see more Space Wolves come out.
Especially if they are going to be coming with uniques for each of the warlords. Or I know right now they have it for the faction, but if they come like a unique Space
Wolf or a unique Eldar or Nurgle Demon,
or whatever, that'd be kind of interesting.
So I mean, I think it all fits his playstyle very, very well. So.
It's good.
So our next card is Ragnar's War Camp. This is a 3-cost support. It is part of the signature squad, and it's a location, and it's unique. Each Space Wolves unit you control at a planet with your warlord deals double damage while attacking an enemy warlord. This is expensive, but I think it's something you end up playing probably late in the game, as if you're looking at a game that's going to go to planets 5, 6, and 7. You definitely play this, and all of a sudden your all of your Blackmane Sentinels and Ragnar himself become very dangerous to your opponent's warlord.
I like the theme of Ragnar again, but it's definitely going to be more powerful against certain warlords than others. So, for example, there's factions that basically depend on their warlord essentially for being at that planet to do a lot of things for them, like Chaos and IG, for example. Whereas, like maybe if you're playing like Dark Eldar or something else, you know, even necessarily Space Marines playing Kato, for example, you don't necessarily need your army to function by having your warlord present to get what it's designed to do, right?
I think Eldar is the best example. They commit their warlord and they're totally fine running away with their first action.
Exactly. So I think you'll see this become even more scarier against those factions where, you know, it is a late game, you've dropped that, you commit your warlord, their warlord shows up, you just dealt 2 damage to him, and now any one of your signature squad guys even is capable of bloodying them just on a single swing.
Practically.
And that's really cool because, you know, this guy, like the Blackmane Sentinels are now doing 4 damage on a swing, and unless you happen to have saved your 3 shield icon and had it in hand, that means you're still going to take 3 damage or
2 damage.
maybe on the low end 2 damage, but the
Right.
chances of you having even a 2 shields in hand at that point in the game are probably fairly low. I mean, that's terrifying, you know?
It is.
And to be able to bloody the Chaos Warlord or the IG Warlord and send him home in the first round of combat is just astronomically good.
Yeah.
No, it completely changes how they play. I don't know that I like the cost on this, but it is such a powerful. It's such a corner effect, but it's such a huge corner.
Yeah.
that
And
you have to make it expensive.
it's
I
like
think.
you said, don't play it early.
Yeah, this is not
Because-
Chimera Den where you basically if you draw it, you play it and don't
Yeah.
question it. This is
Because
definitely situational.
last thing you want is drop that and have their opponent blow it up. Then you're like, oh wow, I just threw 3 resources and my deploy action for nothing.
Yeah.
It's a late card, drop it late, or if you get lucky enough to draw like all your sentinels early in the game, then yeah, you could maybe drop it.
Because you still have to have your warlord there with their warlord to get the bonus. So it's very situational, but it's such a massive situation.
It's like you don't have a choice. If you're playing him, you have to have it. So
Yeah, exactly.
okay, and I have a 0 cost event, Blackmane's Hunt. It has 1 shield. It's a tactics reaction after your warlord commits to a planet. Commit to your warlord to an adjacent planet. This is the icing for the cake, trying to figure him where the warlord's gonna go. This makes it easier,
Were you close? Then you can get there.
Yeah, exactly.
This is deadly when you're down to 3 planets.
Oh, yeah.
You will always catch their warlords.
Yeah.
I can just, I mean, I'll go to the middle planet each time. Oh, I guess wrong. Sorry. I'll move. I mean, that is so good.
And it's very good. I can't even say nothing bad about it.
No,
It's good.
There's nothing bad
So-
to it. It's good.
It's movement. Movement is good in the game.
And again, though, this also enables the sniping mechanism, right? So you commit Blackmane, you deal the 2 damage to their warlord because you guessed correctly, but you know you're not going to win the fight. Run away to the next planet.
If your warlord is bloodied and your opponent is trying to hunt them down,
Yep.
you can run away from their warlord.
You can do that too. So yeah, that's a very, very powerful movement effect. And oh, by the way, you can take all your sentinels with you. So.
Actually, anything you can do with that is if you have a bunch of guys at your HQ, but you don't want your warlord, if you want them to go to like the next planet,
Yep.
but you want your warlord at the current planet, move him out there. Because when he moves, he leaves all of those units at the planet he committed
Yep.
to.
So good way to stage a bunch of guys at Planet 2 and then maybe still go take Planet 1 also.
Yeah,
So
a bunch of cool tricks.
So, all in all, this warlord is good.
Very different from the core set Space Marine Warlord, but I think that was. I think we're going to see a lot of that out of this first block.
No, and I don't want them to be close enough. I want them to be
Yeah.
completely different. I want to be able to. I'm playing Space Marines, and I want to play different warlords and have a different play style. They give a different feel for the game. And this first warlord, they nailed it.
Yep.
Did a good job.
all right, so now we'll move into the IG cards. This first one is the Interrogator Acolyte. He is a 3-cost army. He has 1 command icon, 2 strength, 2 health. He's a soldier, and he is an inquisitor. And he has an interrupt, like most IG cards seem to have. When this unit leaves play, you draw 2 cards. So I got to play against this yesterday in our tournament. As a guy who is playing a Dark Eldar card choke deck, I hate seeing this dude on the board. If you can't blank his text box, it's kind of crappy because you have to kill him, and when you do kill him, your opponent gets cards. So he's good. I mean, he's really, really good. I like the fact that he has the command icon, so he can go contest a planet as well for IG. He's a little on the expensive side, I guess, for IG with 3 cost, but that's not too
Spend
bad.
3, draw 2.
Yeah, that's basically what you're saying.
There's extra effects in there somewhere, like having a guy, but whatever.
Sure, and he'll get the buff from their warlord because he is a soldier, so he does become a 3/2 essentially when the warlord's present. But overall, I think he's a really good guy. You can use him in IG to go contest a planet for command that you're going to take, and then if your opponent tries to go snipe him with their warlord or whatever, that's fine.
I'll draw 2.
I'll draw cards, Even better, though, he gives you card draw in the middle of combat, which can be really powerful. So when you're playing against this guy, a lot of times you'll probably want to leave him to be the last unit you kill, only because you want to hopefully kill off everything else there and not give your opponent the opportunity to draw shield cards by killing him early in the combat.
Yep.
But then again, you're also leaving a 2 or a 3/2 unit on the board that's capable of swinging. So
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, he's great. Great, and more synergy to IG. And I'm loving the theme that IG right now has. Is once something dies, oh, wait a moment, there's a couple of things happening. A free dude, this guy taps your guy. And
no, I will say this. It's important to note that IG, in that sense, is also a lot like we've seen things like Targ Burn and Game of Thrones, where there's so many triggers you have to be sure you're cognizant of.
Yep.
I've noticed a lot of people playing IG forget what half their stuff does on the board, and that's a big detriment because if you don't remember to trigger those abilities, you're not getting the full value of your deck. Yeah. Which is what the faction's designed around doing, and now you're playing at a lesser playstyle.
All right, so 2 things I want to say real quick. First of all, this guy is loyal, so he's only going into Astra Militarum decks. And by the way, for those of you who are new to the 40k universe with Conquest, we've been referring to the Astra Militarum faction as IG, which is Imperial Guard. It has been known for like 20 years as the Imperial Guard faction, and they have only within the last year changed the name of the faction to Astra Militarum. So when you hear IG or Imperial Guard, we're talking about Astra Militarum.
Pretty sure the last time we were talking, I was saying Astra Militarum. You guys were correcting me.
Well, yeah, because Games Workshop is wrong. You heard me, Games Workshop. And with that, we'll go to my card. I like this card. This is a zero-cost event called Muster the Guard. It is an Astra Militarum Imperial Guard card. It has 1 shield. It is a tactic and a maneuver. And as a deploy action, exhaust your warlord to reduce the cost of each Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum unit you deploy this phase by 1. This basically gives you money during the deploy phase if you're going to deploy units. It's a really strong effect with a really big drawback. Having your warlord exhausted means that when he commits to a planet, he doesn't have his command icon, or his command icon has no effect, and he's not.
No, he automatically wins the command struggle no matter what, even if he is not exhausted.
There's no command icons on warlords.
Warlord just automatically wins command.
Oh,
Boom! That's a command icon.
that's a command icon.
That is a command icon right there.
I'm sure per the rules though, it specifically says if there's
whatever,
on that planet, you automatically win command no matter what.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. But if the other, well, I don't know. We'll have to look at that up later. So that may or may not be a negative effect. I think it is.
It's still a negative effect, being that you can't retreat.
Yeah, you can't retreat when you want to at that point. You're going in knowing that you're going to stick around until everything has made its attacks. I've played this card a couple of times now. I was seeing 2 to 3 resources out of it, which is not a bad. If this card just said 0 cost, tap your warlord to gain 3 resources, these resources can only be used to play Astra Militarum units, I might play it. Not sure, honestly. I don't know if that's a strong enough effect for having to tap your warlord.
Well, you know, if you're committing your warlord to a non-first planet where you don't think your opponent's going, it probably doesn't matter, right? So you're getting a huge resource swing, and then there's really no risk to your warlord either. And the cool thing about the Astra Militarum warlords right now that we have is that his ability works whether he's exhausted or not, which is kind of cool. He's not like another warlord where you maybe need to have him ready to be able to trigger his ability, which we haven't even gotten any of those yet either. So, you know, like on turn 1, this could be really powerful. I mean, it could be a huge resource swing on turn 1.
Unfortunately, the dudes I want to be playing on turn 1, most of them are not faction specific. They're
there
void
could
pirates
be that
and rogue
too.
traders.
There is very much that.
I think I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, I think this may get better when the next warlord comes out, since you can choose to. He has 0 attack and can gain attack through other effects. So you can use him to play Muster the Guard and then throw him to a throwaway planet, like a planet 4 or planet 5, to take that, to hang out there and try to suffer no ill effects from it.
Yeah. The other thing is right now in the game, there is no way that there is no economy card that right off the bat gives you a net gain. If you drop a reducer, you paying 1, reducing 1 that same turn, you're not gaining nothing. You play the mines, it's going to take a turn or 2 to get income out of this.
You start gaining money on
this. Is immediately, like Tree was saying, 2 to 3. 2, 1 card, 2 resources. It has a drawback, but it gives you immediate gain right now of resources, and being able to get more resources than your opponent has in 1 round, and being able to play crappy dudes and non-important pieces and seeing where your opponent's going to move their pieces is such a huge advantage, in the game.
Another big thing, it eats up a deploy action for free and doesn't put anything on the board, so you're basically forcing your opponent to continue to give you information while you delay.
Yeah.
You know why this card doesn't work as well as you want it to right now? Because M. Bison is not currently an Astra Military Warlord.
Yeah, that's totally M. Bison.
If M. Bison was an Astra Military Warlord, this card would probably be bonkers.
Oh, wow. And I think is like Tree said, whenever they start coming out with warlords that are not combat warlords, right now the one the AG has right now is a combat warlord. He wants to be in the thick of things. But whenever you get start getting warlords that do other things that are not combat, they're utility warlords, he'll be more important, I think.
Yeah.
So it'll get more important. That was
me.
you. Okay. I got one cost event called Noble Deed. It's one shield, not loyal. Action. It's a tactics action. Sacrifice an IG unit to deal damage equal to his printed attack value to target enemy army unit at the same planet. I consider this like direct damage, kinda. You know, you can double dip with your unit, swing, attack, combat action, attack it, deal damage again. So you basically could say deal double damage to a unit. It's printed costs. Yes.
Attack.
So your warlord's bonus is not going to stack on it, but
nor are the conscripts good to do for it. But
that would have been the target.
Oh, yeah, well, it's also important that it's to a non-warlord, or it's target enemy army unit, so that's non-warlord.
Non-warlord.
The value in this card is it gives you a sacrifice, which is something that Astra Militarum wants all the time.
I can give an example on this one that was fun. In a game I played on the other day, I had at a planet I had an Engisir Augur, I had Acadian Mortar Squad, and I had something else. And my warlord. So go into the range phase, swing for 2 with the Mortar Squad. Use Noble Deed while still in the range phase to sacrifice the Engineer Augur to do 2 damage to them. Look at the top 6. Found I believe it's the Catachin Outpost that only gives you a +2 attack. So that goes straight into play. From my hand, put an Elysian Drop Troops into play.
Untap your mortar, dude.
No, because the dude who died wasn't a soldier. I played another Noble Deed on the Elysian Drop Trooper to do another 2 damage. That triggers the mortar guy to untap. Use the bunker thing to give him +2 attacks. Now he's 4 attack. Swing at something. I killed 3 things during the range phase. It was pretty cool.
No, it's IG is all about.
It swings a planet so far, and they have no idea that's coming.
You know, so many times I play and I'm like, okay, I got 5 dudes against this IG guy. I'm like, oh my god, how many things are gonna come out of that guy? All the tricks and that's IG's full of tricks, and I love it. You know, it's a very synergy.
And one thing about flavor with this card, the picture is of a guardsman shooting a plasma gun.
Oh yeah.
So you can take Noble Deed as he's the guy who's running forward while everyone else is taking cover to fire his heavy weapon. Or his assault weapon.
And
however, plasma guns were notorious for exploding, which means anyone who fires one is actually doing a noble deed. Because you will probably not survive more than a battle or 2 shooting a plasma gun.
In the game, in the miniature game, whenever you shoot the plasma guns, which are very powerful guns, you roll on. After you shoot, you have to roll to see if it gets hot. And if you roll a 1, it does a damage. Immediately do a damage to you.
It pretty much kills that guy.
And he blows up. So this is very flavorable. It's a great card.
Yep. All right, moving over to Orcs. This is the Death Skull Ludas. This is a 4-cost army, 2 command icons. It's 2/3. It's a warrior unit, and it has a reaction. After this unit damages an enemy unit by an attack, destroy a target enemy support card. This card's fantastic. It got played against me yesterday. Was blowing up my support cards. Made me very sad.
Did it blow up your Chimera Den?
No, it blew up my Archon's outpost, so I couldn't prevent people
that sounds
from,
pretty happy then, yeah.
Claiming their command bonuses, which is very sad news. So you for 4 credits, you get 2 command icons, which is good. You get a 2/3, which is kind of meh, but you get an amazing ability, and it's cool because they don't have to kill a unit. They don't have to do anything other than I just have to do at least a point of damage to said unit, and I can destroy a support card. And there's no limit to the number of times these guys can trigger either. Yep. So if you can stand them back up, you can do a damage to them. I haven't played Orcs a lot yet, but I know they have a card that
Smash and bash.
Yeah, like deal damage and
we'll
stand everything back up, stuff like that. Then you can trigger them again. This is brutal against like IG, which is ironic, even though because they can ally with them. But IG is all about their support cards, and being able to crush those off the board is pretty good. Yep. Against Dark Eldar, popping the Chimera Dens. If you can hit that one of in your opponent's deck that comes from the signature squad, which is usually a powerful effect. It's really good. Against Tau, you can pop the ambush platforms, which makes Tau very sad.
The more we go in the game, the more support cards are
These guys are going to see play for a very long time simply because they're one of the few ways in the game currently to deal with support cards.
Yeah, and we both, all over here, have played Game of Thrones, and we know Game of Thrones is full of support cards, and we know that control of that is so crucial, you know. It's a good card. I like it a lot. One of our players in the last tournament, Josh, he played it. He took his Squig bombers out for it. And after the tournament, we were talking, and he was thinking about if it was the best mistake, and it was a mistake or not, just because Eldar and Dark Eldar constantly routed him or tapped him to avoid him to triggering this effect in a time which he needed to kill those support cards.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you do give, you know, your opponent can control this card.
Yeah, more so than
playing an
event.
But I will tell you this, as a Dark Eldar player, just recently, if I have to waste my routing action on this guy because I do have to get him off the board and I can't route some of the bigger stuff that Orcs and IG put down, it actually makes me really upset. Here's
the problem. This is a 4-cost guy. He is the big thing they put down that turn, probably.
No, but other things that are in play in that combat at that planet that we're now fighting over is what I'm getting at, right? Yeah. I don't want to have to route a guy like this, but I have no choice because I need my support cards for my deck to function correctly. Yeah. Which is why I think he actually has a cool effect on the game from that standpoint too, is your opponent is almost left with no choice but to deal with them specifically, which frees up all your other combat stuff to actually, you know, be still viable.
My one big actual problem with this guy is that the way he's printed, like assuming no other effects, assuming he's the only thing at a planet, 2-point shields negate his ability.
Sure.
Yeah.
But again, now your opponent's burning a 2-point shield to prevent his ability from triggering once, and there's not a lot of 2-point shields in the game.
And to prevent 2 damage.
Yeah. Well, sure.
Which is what you're going to use the shield for anyway. I don't think this is an automatic include over Squig Bomb or whatever it's called.
I think it might be like, if you're playing 4 removals, 2 and 2 would be my bad idea.
Yeah, and the counter there is that this guy is a better play when they don't have any supports versus Squig Bomb because it's 1 shield versus a 2/3 guy with 2 command icons.
Does Squig Bomb have command icons?
No, Squig Bomb is an event.
Oh, it's an event. Yeah. Well, there you go. So I mean, he's also a command struggle guy too. I mean,
and Squig Bomb's a shield. So,
and Orcs,
there's benefits to both.
Orcs in faction has reducers, so they can easily play him for 2 costs, so which makes him very good.
Oh, and
2 command icons.
And if you have Nazdrag there and he starts getting damage, all of a sudden it's a lot harder to stop that effect.
Yep. So
especially when you play Smash and Bash. Yes. This is a 2-cost Orc event. It has 1 shield. It is not loyal, so you can play this in your Imperial Guard or Chaos decks. It's a tactic. It says combat action. Deal 1 damage to each unit you control at a target planet without an enemy warlord to ready up to 3 units you control at that planet. So you deal some damage to all your guys, and you get 3 guys readied. That's pretty good. There's no limitation on when you can play this besides only in combat. Right. So if you're playing as Imperial Guard and you play Preemptive Barrage, you swing with 3 guys in the range phase, then you Smash and Bash. Hopefully they don't have only 1 health, so they stay alive. And then you untap those 3 range guys, and you swing again.
And you've just won the game.
And
you've just killed a warlord.
The other thing that our great player Josh didn't pay attention in the tournament we had recently.
You can totally kill your own guys with this.
Yeah. Oh, wait a moment. Josh didn't think about it. He couldn't play this card.
Was it? Oh, because the enemy warlord was there?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. So what I just said was a lie. Instead, so you didn't just kill a warlord. You just obliterated a planet.
Yeah.
And probably won that planet.
What I love about this is the quote combined with the artwork is awesome, and the fact that you can play this with Astra Militarum. It's like this orc walks up and punches these 2 infantry grunts in the face and says, "Dare, all better. Go back to work."
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a great card.
It's cool. It's not something you play every battle, but it's definitely something you play. You play it at the end of, like, when everything has made its attacks at a battle, and you still have dudes left who will survive this. I think it's a real strong surprise play.
Yeah.
So, since you guys played 40K, the tabletop game and stuff like that, is the IG and the orcs working together something from, or is it just something for this game that they've put in?
No,
Yes.
there was going to be a couple of weak spots at the basically where good and bad meet on the circle.
Sure.
There was going to be bad matching there, and Orcs and Imperial Guard was one of them.
Gotcha,
Eldar and Dark Eldar is kind of the other.
All right.
Eldar?
Eldar and Dark Eldar
They
don't really work together, but they're the closest of the good and bad on that side.
In the game, you could ally those two together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't played in 3 editions.
But yeah, and this spectrum where it should have been IG and Chaos.
Yes.
Because IG are humans, they're weak, and they constantly get corrupted by
Makes
Chaos.
sense. Yeah.
So yes, the orcs, it made no sense. But they did admit that it was just done for balancing.
Yeah, and sure, that's fine. I was just curious because like I like the artwork, how it's like this orc punching these 2 humans and telling them to get back to work, basically. Yeah. And yeah, I was wondering how that actually related to the actual universe itself.
But yeah, it's a good card, surprise card. I think it has more synergy with IG than orcs. You know, but
it's also gonna in orcs. I'll say this though. If you have your warlord there, or if you have guys who are brutal there, they're swinging back harder than they did the first time.
That's true.
So that is definitely
It is a way to trigger brutal. So.
That was
me. So this is you. You get the boring card.
I get Death Guard Infantry, 3 cost, 1 command, not loyal. Warrior Death Guard Nurgle, 2 attack, 4 defense, and a lot of text.
Oh, a lot of non-important text.
Yes, not important text. He's not bad. He's eh. He is gonna get better with the new warlord. Plague Marines or Nurgle with big toughness is good. But what else can you say about him?
Currently, he is specifically worse than another card that is a Khorne Berserkers is a 3-drop 2/4 with brutal. That's not loyal. So currently he's just
a command icon.
I believe he has a command icon. I might be wrong on that, but currently he's just a worse version of that with better keywords. With better keywords for the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think since we've seen the Nurgle pack, I think this is where this guy's really going to shine. He's obviously a setup for them because you want a lot of high toughness dudes, so you can move to have them take damage and then move it off of them and put them on your opponent's guys, which is going to be really cool. So
he's your theme guy for this pack.
I'm curious if Nurgle ever going to get a card or an event that says switch your toughness and attack.
Might.
I can see that.
I can see that coming, and that would make.
Actually, I can almost see that more in Dark Eldar, just because Nurgle is all about make you sick, make you die type things. Dark Eldar are the ones who do the crazy like mad scientist like switching heads with arms or whatever.
Well, it's a good thing that Dark Eldar can ally with Chaos.
Yeah, look at that.
The Heretic Inventor.
So good.
This is a 1-cost army with 1 command icon. He's a 3/3. He's a scholar. He's loyal, and his forced reaction is, after this unit enters play, your opponent may move it to a planet of his choice. This card has divided the entire internet about whether it is good or not.
What?
Will it divide the table?
I think he's good.
I think he's good.
Okay, so
Chaos has an issue right now with not having a lot of cheap command icons, and he's exactly that. You get this guy on first turn, your first player, you play him. Your opponent now has to be like, well, crap, I got to give you one of 5 planets. Which one am I going to put him at? He's a 3/3, so he's not trivial to deal with either.
Yeah.
Especially if you play him on a turn where you have initiative and your opponent puts him wherever, and presumably he doesn't commit his warlord to the same planet. Well, now guess what? Now there's a 3/3 dude with a command icon sitting on a planet that is just going to be choking space. So I think he's cool. I think I would have liked for him to have been a cultist. That would have been a little bit better, but maybe too powerful too. So.
I think a 1-cost 3/3 needs to have no good keywords. Especially with a command icon. And it's fun because you can basically just toss them out there for 1 resource and be like, put them wherever you want.
Yeah.
If he didn't have that command icon, I still think he'll be okay.
I'd be questionable at that point because then they can just throw him to a planet that's not going to matter to them, and then you've got to find a way to try to move him off there or just sit there. Him having the command icon means that wherever they put him, even if they put him at a planet you don't want to go to, you're going to be at least either fighting for command or winning command there. And
he'll block Void Pirates, he blocks the traders, and if you don't want to have to deal with a 3/3 and you move him to Planet 5, well, now I'm going to just control Planet 5 and get whatever resources are on Planet 5.
No, he's great. I love him.
And Chaos needed a cheap guy. That's probably one of the best cheap guys in the game.
Yeah, as cheap as you could probably get.
You don't get to control where he goes, but otherwise, super cool.
Yeah,
he's got they can't not put him in a planet. So
and I think he's better off early game, but even late game, there's down to 3 planets. Odds are those 3 planets are important.
Yep.
So wherever he puts them, he's gonna have
either to you or to them. So or both.
So
all right,
cool stuff. All right, up next we have a Dark Eldar unit. This is an army unit. It's a 5-cost called Uber Grotesque. It has a command icon. It has 3 attack and 5 health. It has the keywords Creature, Abomination, and Elite. It has the restriction of no war gear attachments, and says reaction. After you play a Torture event card, this unit gets +3 attack until the end of the phase. Limit once per phase.
Oh, I hate that limit.
Yeah, of course you do, but it needs to be there. Especially for future growth when they make cheap Torture events.
Or they make a guy who can duplicate and let you play the Torture event twice.
And make his Torture events cheaper.
Yes.
I wonder if one of those is coming sometime soon.
But I don't think that would have triggered his ability twice. Because his event card.
I'm not sure on that, but they put the limit once per phase on there, so we don't even care if it does or not.
Yep.
This guy's cool. Dark Eldar needed something big, something with enough health to survive AOE attacks.
Yep.
He's expensive, but he does have a command icon. 3 attack on its own is good. You're gonna want to play your Torture events. So either you can play it. It's till the end of the phase, so you play it during the combat phase, probably right before he attacks. And then you swing at something for 6, and it probably dies.
Yeah, it's I think it's good, especially with the new warlord. I don't think it fits in the current meta right now that the Dark Eldar has.
Dark Eldar feels very either cheap for swarms or cheap in playing events to keep your opponent choked out of cards or resources or both. So I think he's like a future growth type thing.
No, yeah, for the next warlord, he definitely fits the strategy. And how good is put him in, look at your hand, discard a card, and then go and route a guy. No, route is not a Torture one.
Look at opponent's hand and choose and discard a card. What's this you're talking about, Zeus?
And then he gets buffed, smack you in the face.
Let me put this another way too.
You take my segue, damn
it. I want to have something to say about this guy. He is expensive, but he provides something that even in the current Dark Eldar meta could be very useful. I didn't use him yesterday only because I wasn't sure.
Is that thing more than 3 health?
No, he is an unsnipeable command icon to stick at a planet to contest. And
5.
5 means you're gonna lock a planet down and your opponent's never gonna take it from you unless they commit their warlord and everything in HQ to do it.
He's got 1 command icon. How
drop
does
a Void Pirate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're choking your opponent that way. That's the whole point. He provides an unkillable choke card for Dark Eldar, which is very, very useful.
From the both Dark Eldar players that were here yesterday playing the tournament, neither one played it.
I didn't play him, I agree, because I hadn't thought about him in that method until we were sitting here talking about it.
So you're going to put him in your deck?
I probably will, actually. Dark Eldar doesn't have a lot of big, tough hitters right now, and this provides a very good late-game piece. If I had him in the finals match yesterday, I probably would have won that game simply because of where the board state ended up at. He himself would have changed the actual outcome of that final fight that we were doing. So, and I could have played him. I had the resources to drop him into play too. So,
we'll see. Prove us wrong or prove me wrong.
So, okay, one last thing because I just thought about this. The planet that allows you after you win the command struggle to play a card from your hand into HQ for free. Is actually really cool for Dark Eldar because if I've stripped your hand of cards, I really don't care. And plus, I usually know what's in your hand because of this next wonderful card we're about to talk about. You can get him into play for free.
You could, if that planet's out and it happens to be there.
Yep. And so that leads into the next one. This is a 3-cost event for Dark Eldar called Visions of Agony.
And it's Jesus' card?
It's, is it?
No, you can talk about it.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. I didn't mean to jump ahead. So.
3-cost event, Visions of Agony, 1 shield, tactics, torture. Again, a torture.
Torture.
Action, look at your opponent's hand, then choose and discard 1 card from their hand. Amazing card. Great card, fantastic. I saw it in our last tournament. Angelo here piloted it and for perfection. You know, it was amazing. He discarded Chosens. He discarded Dooms. Anything crucial at that moment, he discarded. It's a torture. It builds into the whole torture mechanic for this whole cycle, especially for the new warlord coming out. Makes it cheaper, so it's cost 2. Amazing. It's a very good card.
Absolutely fantastic.
A little pricey.
It is,
yes, it is.
But it's such a good effect that I'm not even talking bad about it. I'm just saying it is.
So
it is.
What's really the real benefit to this card was yesterday when I was playing the choke deck and I had, for example, the first round the Eldar player, he was down to top decking each turn because he had no cards in hand. Period. So he's drawing 2 cards, and then during the deploy phase, I'd be like, "Show me your hand." Oh, what units do you have in there? Oh, you have a unit in event? Put that unit in your discard pile. I mean, you can't do anything at that point. You're completely locked out of the game. And it's fantastic. Hand knowledge in this game is so crucial. Knowing how many shields your opponent has in their hand, knowing what combat tricks are in your opponent's hand is just so critical. You can play this during the combat phase and go, let me see your hand. How many shields do you have?
How can it be critical if there's only one card that gives it to you? I'm just curious on that.
I think it is. I think having hand knowledge in this game is very, very good.
I think it's strong. I don't think it's necessary.
For Dark Eldar, I would almost say it is, because you are so weak to silly combat tricks like drop pod assault, or you have a bunch of big hitters, but you're trying to put damage on the warlord, but they have enough shields in their hand to prevent it from happening. That kind of stuff can be very annoying. But I found it did great work all day long, so I was very pleased with it.
Yeah.
So.
That's your turn.
Archon's Palace. This is a 2-cost support. It's a location. It's loyal. It has an interrupt. When your opponent wins a command struggle, exhaust this support to cancel either the card bonus or the resource bonus of that planet this phase. All right, so there's 2 things I want to talk about with this. For starters, it's an amazing card.
Yes.
If you were playing Dark Eldar, I played 3 in my deck yesterday. Tree and I were talking before we started recording about I was kind of feeling that maybe 3 were too many and we should have gone down to 2. But then again, 3 guarantees you're going to see it generally in your opening hand or right after your first round of command draw. Great card. You can't choke all the planets, but if you can't choke all the planets, then your opponent goes to win a command struggle by committing their warlord. You cancel whatever it is you're trying to choke, which in most cases is going to be the card draw. It's very hard to choke cash right now in the game. So something that's come up. It came up in the tournament yesterday because I was playing against Johnny and I had to explain this to him because maybe a lot of people aren't aware of it yet. If you read the rules manual, it specifically says in the Void Pirates and the Rogue Traders, it is an additional bonus that is added to claiming the bonus on the planet itself, which means if you cancel the bonus and you have a Rogue Trader or a Void Pirate there, their ability does not trigger either. So you do not get the +1 card, you do not get the +1 resource if I've canceled your gain on that specific one. There are a bunch of questions on the forums about that. They were sent to the developers. But it is in the rules as written in the book.
So, I thought that was pretty clear, yeah.
Johnny said he played yesterday, and one of the guys had said that, no, that's not the way it works. I just don't get the resources on the planet, but I still get the bonus because I won the command struggle. In fact, you do not. So it's important to know. But Jesus, this card's amazing. Even if you weren't playing a Dark Eldar choke deck and some other version of Dark Eldar you were playing, you would still put this in because you'd be able to cancel that command struggles.
Especially awesome. When you can get them down to winning. If you can keep them to winning 1 or 2 command struggles a turn, and then just say one of them doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I found myself doing that a lot. Like, I'm just not even worry about that one. Go ahead, take it, cancel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it fits currently in the meta for what it is, and like Angelo says, even if it does, you don't play a chalk deck, canceling that crucial, 2 credits, like people don't. Eventually, people are gonna start doing math. I'm playing against Space Marine. Wow, he has gonna win 2 credits. Guess what? That 2 credits are gonna be drop pod assault. Yep. It's gonna mess my day in this planet. So make sure I don't give him that 2 credits. People need to start thinking cards that the opponent has. Oh, the Space Marine doesn't have credits. Who's gonna get that's 1 credit? That's Indomitable. That's Eager Recruit. That's all these combat tricks cost them credits. People need to start denying that, and this is a great thing.
And that applies to all every faction.
Every faction
has a card that's 1, 2, or 3 cost that is absolutely crushing during the combat phase.
That's the other thing too I liked about canceling the card draw effect that I find to be so powerful is I'm not going to even let you draw those combat tricks into your hand.
Yeah,
which is cool because like I've seen your hand with Visions of Agony in the deploy phase. Now we go in the command phase, and I'm not going to let you draw cards. So I know now exactly what is in your hand for that combat phase, which can be really powerful.
Yeah. So, Dark Eldar did kick out very good 2 cards.
Then there's
the weird. We never looked up that.
What?
If this is for the whole combat phase?
It's for the whole phase. It's for the whole combat phase.
Oh, okay.
I've got Vaulting Harlequin. He's a 3-cost army unit from the Eldar faction. He's got 2 command icons. He's got 1 attack. He's got 4 health. He's got the keywords Warrior and Harlequin. And he says, combat action. Exhaust this unit to have it gain flying until the end of the phase. I don't like him at all. You can tap him to make him take half damage from attacks, but then he doesn't get to attack. And even if he did, he's only got 1 attack.
You put a ion rifle on him, and now he's a 4/8 essentially. I mean, that's pretty good.
But I could put that ion rifle on anything else, and it's better.
But he has flying, which is awesome. Half damage is so good.
half damage from combat attacks. It doesn't reduce AoEs. It doesn't reduce direct damage.
I know, but still.
Again, me and True talked about it. Sometimes with bad cards are bad cards, just say it's bad card. But
it makes the rest of
I
them look
still
better.
want to see, I think he's a 3 cost for 2 command. And I think we might be seeing it as a wrong way, as a combat ability. And no, he's not good for combat. He might be good for controlling this planet, and you're sending your warlord, and I'm going to take some of your resources.
I'm going to make it take 3 rounds of combat to kill him rather than 2 or 1.
Maybe.
But he's going to do damage back to the warlord at the same time, which is the cool
1
part.
damage. 1. Uno.
No, but if you think about it, right?
Your multi-language, Uno.
Trading damage with a warlord with this guy is awesome because that warlord damage is not going to go away. And it makes the opponent have to play so much more safely with their warlord because they went after this pathetic guy to do it.
Do you get frightened when I put 1 damage on your warlord?
You'll do more than 1 point, though. If one of the 1/7 warlords comes after you, he's doing 1 point of damage a turn, which means it takes 4 turns to kill him, which means he's putting 3 damage back on that warlord before he dies.
Make him think, Angelo. Break it.
Yes,
you can do
I'll
it.
break it. I'll break it. He'll have an ion rifle, and he'll have this next awesome card, which makes him even harder to
Angelo's going to
kill.
build a deck that has 59 cards and 1 of these. And be like, I broke it. Actually, my biggest issue with this is that Eldar, for command icons, they have a 3-cost guy, the 3-cost unique guy who's got 2 command icons. They have a 1-cost guy that has 2 command icons.
Sure, you're right.
And like command icon is not where and they have a 3-cost mobile unit that is a 1/5 with 2 command icons. They're not hurting for command icons, and I think most of those are better than this guy.
Put a repulsor shield on this guy. Now he's even more cool. Every time you want to damage him, you're taking damage back, too.
If you take a turd and put like all kinds of sparklers and stuff in it, it's really cool for a turd. You know what else is cool? If you take a $50 bill and attach a sparkler to it and don't let it catch fire, it's much better.
Okay, Tree doesn't like it.
Yes. Hey man, bad cards is bad cards.
I get a 3-cost event, Empower. It's 2 shields. It's a power. Play only during battle. Combat action. Each Eldar unit you control at a target planet gets +1 attack, +1 hit points until the end of the battle. Amazing.
It's loyal.
It's loyal. Something that Eldar doesn't have is power. And they do have it. Because they have some of the most hard-hitting units in the game. But this is a surprise. It helps you break the math. Yeah, and one of the most simple things in Conquest is the combat. It's very, very, very basic. Very it's math. I do 2 damage. You do 3 damage at defense and all that stuff. What makes a difference is shields. Shields breaks the math. And cards like this breaks the math. So here I'm looking at the board. Am I going to retreat or not? Oh, I'm going to stay because I should kill this guy, this guy, this guy this turn. You play this. It's not. I'm not going to be. I'm not killing those guys. Now you're going to be wiping my guys out. It's very, very good.
It's another 2 shield card, which it looks like every faction is getting another 2 shield card in the in this
cycle.
I think the biggest thing with this is that it's a 2-cost. It's a 2 shield that's not Gift of Isha, which means you can save guys without losing the ability to bring dudes back from the dead.
Yep.
And again, like you said, the +1 attack, +1 health. It's awesome. 3 cost is expensive, but like we just said, Eldar don't have too much trouble in the command struggle. Usually.
It makes the Wraith cards now hit for 5. If you're bloody, they kill you.
5 with Armor Bane, and they survive a lot more stuff all of a sudden.
Yeah, they kill you.
All right, next up we have Star
Any
Cannon.
comments on it?
No, it's a good card. I mean, you're spending 3 for essentially +1/+1 on every unit on a planet. Yeah. It's a good card. I mean, there's not a lot to say about it. If you look at that card and don't understand what it's meant to do, then, well. So, Star Cannon, 0-cost attachment, 1 shield, non-loyal Eldar. It's a hard point. It's a weapon attached to an Eldar vehicle army unit. Attached unit gains Armor Bane. So, a couple of things to be said about this card. Right now, a little mediocre. It will only get better over time as more Eldar vehicles are released. Yeah. But the big selling point here is a 0-cost deploy action.
Yep.
Right now, I mean, sure. Armor Bane's a fantastic ability. It gets better as the game goes on, and eventually you'll get some vehicle that's probably really, really, really good, and you will drop this on them and go, I'm going to one-shot your warlord.
Yeah. It currently can go on. There's only like 3 units that can go on right now. the Falcon, which is a 1/5. The Wild Riders, who are a 3/4 that have like a combat action mobile.
Yep.
Which that I think is the one reason you would play this, and then they've got like Wraith Fighter, which is like a 6-cost card that hasn't seen much play, I don't think.
But if you can turn a vehicle, especially like a mobile vehicle, into a mobile sniping platform to kill warlords at some point, that becomes really powerful.
And it's not war gear, which I think is intentional because most of the vehicles say no war gear attachments.
War gear.
This is a hard point, not a war gear.
So
again, I don't think it's something that gets played. Like you said, I don't think it's played right now. I think maybe at some point we'll see a Tau vehicle deck that runs a couple of Eldar vehicles and this, or an Eldar vehicle deck that runs some of the Tau stuff and this.
But I mean, it's a good example of a card that 3 years from now is still going to be relevant.
yes.
I mean, it's a fantastic ability.
Every vehicle they print, people will look back at Starcan and be like, is it good or not? And also, it shows us a whole new type of card. The attachments that's made specifically for vehicles. I bet you'll see hunter-killer missiles, maybe for the Imperials, things like that.
Yeah. Turrets, gun platforms,
all
stuff
kinds
like that.
of strap-on weapons.
You have a tank like ranged or something like that would be cool.
Yep.
My Lehman Russ needs range. I agree. Definitely needs more range.
I'm curious if they're going to be with this. Will open design to upgrade your tanks. Like my Lehman Russ, give it a plasma cannon.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was
Upgrade it
getting at.
because that's
that's
part of the game. It's one of the most flavorful thing about the game is you have your tank and you give it my sponsons are plasma cannons or las
Put a 120 millimeter howitzer on your Lehman Russ so it gains range.
So it's kind of interesting.
Earthshaker cannon on a land speeder.
Oh yeah.
Yay, vehicle creation rules. There's a reason they went away. All right, so the next card is actually another vehicle. It's a 3-cost Tau army unit. It's called Piranha Hunter. It has no command icons. It's 2 attack. It has 2 health. It's a vehicle and a speeder. It has no war gear attachments. It's mobile, and it says reaction. When this unit moves from one planet to another, draw 1 card. So without the command icons, it makes me kind of sad. However, this guy is begging for promotion.
Yep.
If you put a promotion on him, you just run him back and forth between planets to draw a card and to go win and to figure out where you want to win the command struggle next turn.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, he is a 3-cost mobile draw a card every turn.
Yeah.
Dark Eldar hates it.
Yeah, I mean, it does. You can't choke it, so it's a problem. You will try to go hunt this down, and you'll have a very hard time doing it.
Yeah, you'll have to find a way to get to 2 planets where there is going to be battle, and make sure they can't run the other direction. So
it does become obviously less useful later in the game when there's less planets to be able to move between that you can't snipe it. But before then, it will run the table and it will do very well at it.
So turns 1 through 6, it can draw you cards. Turn 7, it will not draw you anymore.
Pretty much.
So,
but yeah, you drop a promotion on it.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Even without the card draw is not horrible.
No.
Yeah,
Like,
if you can drop it early in the first turn, it's netting you 6 cards.
Yeah, assuming you can keep it alive, which you can. If it just runs away from battle every turn.
Well, direct damage will remove it, but that's rare so far in the game. So.
Okay, I got a Nui Prelate.
Yeah.
4-cost army. He's I thought he was unique. Never mind, he isn't.
Nope.
He's
I always forget. He's loyal. He's a soldier ethereal. 4 attack, 3 defense, ambush with reaction. After you deploy this unit, each other Tau unit you control at this planet gets +1 attack until the end of the phase. Force reaction. After this unit resolves hits attack, move it to HQ.
So good.
Amazing.
He's direct damage.
Yes, it's amazing. He comes into play. He buffs everything. He hits in the face for 4, and then he runs away. He has the same theme of their new warlord. Warlord has the same thing. It fits with his theme. It's ethereal. We already start seeing some previews of other cards that buff ethereals.
Yeah, their new the new 4/3 unit that's coming out that gains range when an ethereal's at the same planet. Your opponent goes, "Oh, I've got this," and they commit, and then you just drop this guy into play and go, "No, I got this."
Now the range gets buffed.
Yeah.
It's
now you got a 5/3
now
ranged
it's
attacker.
for 5, and you have a 4/3 waiting to back him up.
amazing. It's amazing card.
And he runs away before, like, assuming you ambush him in, they can't respond to him even.
Nope.
Because you ambush him in, you swing for 4, and he runs away.
Yep.
Well, what's cool about him is normally when you look at how combat goes in a round, your opponent will target your biggest damage dealers first, right? Because they want to get them off the board.
Yep.
So your opponent wastes all this time ignoring your little weenie dudes. kills all your big damage dealers. All your weenies are still standing, and now you go. Now all my weenies aren't exactly weenies anymore. Now are they? And
my Void or
Your Void?
no, just Tau. Just Tau units. But Tau is one of the few factions in the game right now that runs almost mono Tau. And they do a very good job at it, too. So this is not going to be hard to get a lot of work out of.
Good card.
Very good. Next up, we have a 1-cost support called Homing Beacon for the Tau. This is a limited upgrade. It's a reaction after a unit you control moves to your headquarters. Exhaust this support to gain 1 credit or draw 1 card. Fantastic. We know with the Ethereals, there's going to be a lot of, just like the guy we just saw, the NOI Prelates, there's a lot of guys that are going to be moving back and forth between combat planets and HQ because that seems to be the theme of the Ethereal units themselves. They hit and run away.
Your Warlord moves to HQ every turn.
Yep, your Warlord does, for example. So this is cool because you're always going to be able to trigger it unless it gets destroyed for some reason or a cancel gets put into the game that stops the reaction from going off. So basically, every time you play one of these, which you can play 1 a turn, and right now it really only competes with promotion for another limited slot space for Tau, you're going to just draw a card to get a buck, and that's just fantastic. The cool part about this is like the Warlords or the Ethereal guys themselves, they move in the middle of combat, so you can draw that top card of your deck, and maybe you get another shield, or maybe you get a combat event that you were waiting on, or something like that. So in the middle of combat, you're drawing cards. That's got to be scary if you're the opponent playing against it, because you have no idea
draw
what you're pulling.
the ambush, dude.
Yeah. Or get that 4th resource you need to play the ambush.
Exactly.
It's a very powerful card, especially since it's not unique. You could have 3 of them.
Yep.
I'm worried about it because cards like this that you could constantly trigger, they should have a limit.
You have to exhaust it.
You have to exhaust it.
Oh, you do have to exhaust?
Yeah, so it's one per turn. So
okay, good.
If you go all 3 of them in play, you'll get some combination of 3 cards and 3.
Had it
I
just
missed
been,
the exhaust.
Had it just been 1 resource and not limited, yes, it would have been underbalanced for a power curve. But because it is limited, that is the balancing factor, and I like that idea. I like for them using the limited keyword to put powerful effects in the game, but say, look, you're only going to get 7 turns in this game, and you've got to choose which limited effects you're going to put on the board.
Do you want your reducers? Do you want your promotions? Do you want these? Do you want your Promethean mines?
Yep.
All right, our final card of the day is Calamity. This is a neutral card. It's a 2-cost event. It has 1 shield. It has the keyword Disaster. This is a headquarters action. Return each army unit with printed cost 2 or lower to its owner's hand.
This card's so good.
Yes, it is.
Tree, when is headquarters action?
The headquarters phase is at the end of the turn.
Not at the beginning.
I was hoping we'd get to make mention of that.
Not at the beginning.
Yeah, it is not, in fact, when you deploy cards. That's the deploy phase. So you can bounce all of the 2 or 1 cost army units to 2, 1 or 0 cost army units to everybody's hand. Important note with this: tokens are not army units, so they don't get bounced, which is cool. This is gonna reset the board of Void Pirates, Rogue Traders, Eldar Survivalists, all of the cheap command guys. The 2 command icons, 0-4 Psyker guy from Imperial Guard. It's going to put all of those back. It's going to put all the cheap guys back. In Space Marines, this lets you pick your the Sicarius guys up, doesn't it? Because they're 2 cost?
I thought the Sicarius guys were 3.
Oh, they're 3 cost? Oh, let's you pick up your Ragnar guys.
Yeah, the Ragnar guys.
Yeah. So if you want to redeploy those.
Your ambush guys.
Yeah, the eager recruits.
Oh, God.
To me, this card, more than anything else,
Razor
Wings, Dark Eldar. Oh,
yes.
Pick up your Razor Wings and your Coliseum fighters.
Yep. Or you bounce all of their resource guys back to their hands and say, now I don't have to worry about contesting the planets, because guess what? Next turn, you're going to spend all that money you just made playing them all back out.
Yeah.
Or, if your guys, how many times have you gotten maybe a rogue trader or a void pirate stuck on planet 1 where he's now not really doing anything each turn other than going with the warlord to trigger the bonus. Now you can bounce your guys back to your hands from HQ and put them back out. There's not a lot of 2 cost or lower guys that have more than 1 health, but in the event that maybe a bunch of them take a point of damage and they're still alive, bounce them back to your hand, reset their health meters. But Dark Eldar, this card just screams Dark Eldar. There's so many things.
Currently, it is very good at Dark Eldar.
It bounces your good guys. It bounces their
Also,
guys.
it's a small reset for economy. Remember we were talking about there's nothing to deal with economy, to choke economy. This is a card to choke economy.
Also, if they're playing promotions on cheap dudes, this clears their promotions off the board.
Yep,
and they get discarded. So I mean, yeah, it's the same thing. You can clear attachments. I mean, maybe somebody dropped an ion rifle on some dude. They needed like a sniper. Like I've seen people do it. They put it on a 2-1 range guy.
I played an ion rifle on an Eldar survivalist yesterday because I needed an extra threat at a planet.
So it's a great card.
So actually,
great design because it limit the time it could be played.
Yep.
Tau can take a lot of advantage of this too, actually, because the Shadow Sun Stealth Cadres are 2 cost. So you can bounce all them back.
The
drones are all 2 costs.
Or 3 though, yeah.
No, the Shadow Sun.
The Stealth Cadre, the Signature Squad guys are 2.
Oh, they're 2. The one that take damage.
No, the Signature Squad guys are the attachments. They either give +2 attack, +2 HP, or they come in as a 2/2.
Which is the ones that they turn.
Oh, those are the.
They're 3 costs.
They're 3 costs.
Okay,
I forget their names.
You could reset their health.
I wish you could. That would be badass. But you can bounce the drones back, and the cool thing about that is those drones are really powerful because they can swing battles at any planet you commit your warlord to because of his ability. So being able to consistently return those back to your hand can actually be really useful for him.
No, and the good thing about it is
if they're attachments, they won't get bounced back to your hand. If they're played out as attachments.
True. Is
that early on you could play the drones individually
for command struggle.
To command struggles. Yep. Late game you want to bounce them up to put them as attachments.
Exactly.
To buff up your guys. You know.
Yeah,
so
the real so
many.
So the real question becomes when you slot this into your deck: are you playing it to screw with your opponent, or are you playing it to benefit your deck? And I think that's when you build it.
I think the answer there is yes. You're trying to do both.
Yeah.
And it's
situationally
good
exactly.
for both. So,
exactly.
Overall, I'm pretty pleased with the pack. I think they've done a fantastic job keeping the balance of the game here. Ragnar provides a very new kind of play style, which I think is really cool.
I was disappointed in the chaos stuff. I'm not going to lie,
but you know, I think again,
just because they didn't get as much as everybody else.
We have to. I think the big thing we have to remember is that each pack in this cycle is supposed to add to the theme of the warlord that's coming in the cycle. Yep. So. You know, it's unfortunate because we're playing an LCG where the cycle's spread out over 6 months, so you get stuck with cards in some cycles that are just completely useless until maybe the end of the cycle when the cards that they're meant for come out, versus like a game like a CCG where, you know, they've released the entire set, and if you're lucky, you can buy all the cards and just get what you want early in the game.
When the Eldar Warlord buffs Harlequins, I will eat my fucking hat. You will need to bleep that.
Yeah. The only thing is in FFG can't know this when they come out the game, when they make the core set, knowing which factions are strong. I'm guessing it should have. But if you look at right now, all the factions got 3 cards except Chaos and Orcs, which is right now I consider one of the 2 weakest.
Yeah,
sure.
I would agree.
You know what I'm saying? So unless, I'm not sure if they knew that they were the weakest right off the bat.
But maybe in their playtesting, though, they weren't. It's just because people have gravitated to other factions in the game for more competitive play for whatever reason. Maybe a thematic reason.
More towards the play style.
Or more towards the play style that works for them. Because I like the idea of Orcs, but every time I look at Orcs, I don't feel like it fits my play style and the way I play card games. Now, it's not to say they're bad. It's just, it's not a play style I've ever really embraced before.
They're not Lannisters.
Yeah, exactly. There's not a lot of tricks to them, right? They're very straightforward. I'm going to punch you in the face over and over again until I win. So in that way, they're kind of a lot like the Starks, which I never gravitated towards the Starks in Game of Thrones, right? They're very much a what you see is what you get kind of style faction. There's not going to be a lot of surprises coming. But when the surprises do come, they're usually pretty brutal. Yeah. But they're few and far between versus a lot of the other factions where, you know, like Dark Eldar, where I've just got a ton of tricks in my hand. Like, I can just do this and this and this. So,
but a great pack. I love it.
I'm happy.
Yeah, for being the first pack.
Yeah, a strong offering.
Thumbs up. So, thank you for listening for us. Thanks to you. Thanks for watching us. If you liked the video, like. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you have any comments of what you think is the best card.
Tell us what we said wrong.
Yeah, tell us if we're done.
Tell me how to make Vaulting Harlequin work, and I will play it.
Stay tuned. We have tournament coverage coming up from our tournament yesterday. It'll be coming up on the channel soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and join us on iTunes as well if you want to download the audio podcast.
And thank you guys. See you guys later.